Hi, it's Hope and welcome to the video. This is going to be books I read in one sitting, so meaning that from start to finish I read it completely through with like no breaks or like a break to like go to the bathroom or something like that. Like that's one sitting in my opinion because I didn't do anything else besides like go to the bathroom or grab a snack or like those type of things, if you get what I'm saying. So it's like one sitting, but like I might have gone up and grabbed like a sandwich or something so that I could continue reading. So there are multiple books, so let's get started. So the first 3 books on this list are by the same author and a part of the same series, so I'm going to like mention them as kind of like a whole, and that is Every Heart a Doorway by Shanan McGuire, Down Among the Sticks and Bones by Shanan McGuire, and Beneath the Sugar Sky by Shanan McGuire. These are all in books, like these are like novellas that take place in this like world where there are these it's essentially like a portal fantasy where children can find these doorways into other worlds, and when they come back they have to go to this place where like this kind of school where they're essentially like either trained to go back into the human world or find their way back to their like portals that they went through. Every Heart a Doorway, we follow Nancy, who arrives at the school and and murders happen. Down Among the Sticks and Bones, we follow twins Jack and Jill, who entered their like portal world, and they're also in Every Heart a Doorway. And then we have Beneath the Sugar Sky. There is a child of a dead student has appeared claiming that her mother's gone missing. And these I all read in like one sitting because they're like 170 pages, I believe, like each. So that's like something that I'm really able to just read in one sitting. I believe one of these I read in like even like a 48-hour readathon. So like, yeah. These next 2 are again in a series, the second and third book in the Shatter Me series, so one being Unravel Me, and the second one being Ignite Me. I also read all of the like Shatter Me novellas in one sitting, I believe, but those ones I just didn't feel like including besides mentioning them. But these books again are part of the Shatter Me series, where we follow a girl named Juliet whose touch is lethal, and when she is she's imprisoned for this, and when she's released into this like group called the Reestablishment, which is kind of like a military type group leading one sector of the like country. How the fuck do I describe this? Like essentially she goes from there and she's essentially like they're trying to train her but it's not working and all of that, and Unravel Me is the second, Ignite Me is the third. These are again like 400 and some pages. These are like the longest, and these are like 400 pages each, and like I think Unravel Me might be the longest book I've read in one sitting. No, it's not. No. I was gonna say Unravel Me is the largest book I read in one sitting, but no, I remembered there's books that are over 500 pages that I've read in one sitting. But these are still really big books. They're 400 pages long, which is like pretty big, and I still remember when I read, I believe it was like when I read Unravel Me in one sitting, I was blown away with the fact that I even was able to do that. Next we have I Wish You All the Best by Mason Deaver, and I didn't read this in one sitting with the physical book. I read it in one sitting with the ebook, but I got the physical copy afterwards so that I could like reread this at some point, because I absolutely love this. But essentially we follow Ben, who comes out to their parents as non-binary, and like Ben's parents kick them out and they have to go move in with like their sister, and it's a story of Ben kind of dealing with like mental health and going to a new school and choosing to be called by the wrong pronouns to not have to deal with the awkwardness of like saying like, hey, I'm non-binary and all of that. And I absolutely love this story because it's kind of like like, I just, like, absolutely loved this story. Like, we follow Ben dealing with all of the issues mentioned before, but also gaining friends, and then eventually, like, coming out to those friends, and, like, having a crush on a friend, and all of that, and just, like, a cute, sweet story with a lot of heavy stuff, I guess. If you can even call the book cute and sweet, and then also be like, it deals with some tough shit. But, yeah. I Wish You All the Best by Mason Deaver. Next we have We Were Liars by E. Lockhart, and essentially, in We Were Liars we follow, like, a family that every summer visits their private island, and, our, like, main character, who we see the point of view of, didn't go to the island the summer before, but she is there this summer, and a lot of shit is revealed. I cannot say anything else. That is all. I literally went in knowing nothing. The only thing, one thing is, like, if you've read this and someone asks you the, how one thing that is in the Goodreads things is, like, read it. And if anyone asks you how it ends, just lie. Like, this I read for, again, for Becca's Bookoplathon, like 48-hour readathon that happened in July of 2020, and I, like, read this throughout the night. I think I, like, started it at, like, 1 a.m. and I finished it by, like 3 a.m. or something, like 4 a.m. I was just so, like, interested to see, like, why is everyone saying, like, I didn't expect that ending, why is everyone saying, like, if you know the ending, don't tell anybody, because it's so, like, oh, I still don't understand the ending. It's so, like, oh, crap. But I read this in one sitting, and I kind of enjoyed it. Next we have The Awakening by Storm Song, which is the third book in the Vampire Trail series, and the first book being The Summoning, and essentially we follow 20-year-old Scarlet, who lives in this, like, vampire run New York, where, like, the vampires are, like, the government, and every 5 years there is this event called the Vampire Trials, where there are 3 sectors, and a man over 18 is picked from these sectors to kind of fight to the death, and whatever, like, district wins, they get, like, just, like, rewards type thing, and this is the first year that females are allowed and Scarlet's name get picked, and we go from there, and this is a, like, paranormal, like, reverse harem, and I read this is right, and this I read in one sitting. I read the other 2 in the series in, like, 24 hours. That's mentioned in my books I read in 24 hours video, which I'll have linked in the iCard. And yeah, I just, like, enjoyed the book, and it was just one that I was just like, okay, let's keep on going, what crazy shit is gonna happen next. Next we have How the King of Elfhame Learned to Hate Stories by Holly Black, and this is kind of like a collection of, like, short stories that are surrounding the character of Carden from the Folk of the Air trilogy by Holly Black, and that's really all I can say. It's like 170 some pages, and they're just, like, really short stories that kind of take place before the events in the Folk of the Air, during and after, and it was just kind of like a fun addition to the series, and I read it in one sitting because it was so short and I enjoyed it so much. Next we have King and the Dragonflies by Kacen Callender, and this is a middle grade series. This is a middle grade book where we follow 12-year-old Kingston, who lives in Louisiana, and when one of his friends goes missing, and turns out that his friend is just staying in his backyard, this kind of leads to, obviously, a missing child, as well as in all of this, Kingston is dealing with the death of his brother and the realization of his sexuality, and it is just a cute middle grade that I enjoyed so much. Probably my favorite middle grade I've read. I haven't read very many middle grades, so that's not that big of, like, a statement, like, oh, favorite middle grade, because I've read, like, 10 or so. Like, I haven't read that many, but I enjoyed it a lot. Conventionally Yours by Annabeth Albert. This is a new adult, queer romance where we follow Conrad and Alden. That took me a bit to remember the name, but essentially, like, Conrad and Alden are like enemies. They play this like card game together with some people, and when they are invited to a tournament of this game, they end up having to go on a road trip together, and because Conrad can't afford to like fly there, and Alden is scared of flying, so they have to go on this like road trip across country to this tournament, and in so realizing that maybe they don't hate each other as much. And this, I have an entire review on my channel, so I'll leave that linked in the iCard and the description. These next two are the first two books in a series, so I'm going to mention them together, which is Shatter Kingdom by Angelina J. Steffort and Wicked Crown by Angelina J. Steffort. And Shattered Kingdom, we follow 17-year-old Gandrit, who at 7 years old was taken from her family to go into the middle of the Kamala Desert to essentially kind of train under one of the goddesses in the like world, like train as like one of her like military subjects type thing, and when a mysterious guy comes to collect her to do bidding for his boss, she must go, and that eventually leads her to trying to find the like heir to this lord. But I read Shatter Kingdom I read this I read this Christmas Eve into Christmas Day, and I started it like 9 p.m. I was like, okay, I'm gonna read like 100 pages. 500 pages later, I was finished the book. I read all 500 pages in one sitting. And then when I started Wicked Crown a few days later, I ended up reading again 500 pages in one sitting. It's just such a big, expansive world, and just, it's so good. The final book I read in one sitting, at least I believe I read this in one sitting, I can't remember if I read this in one sitting or in 24 hours, I think it was one sitting, was The Rook by Frost K, which is the second book in the Twisted Kingdom series, the first one being The Hunt. And in The Hunt we follow Tempest, who is the first female hound, and essentially hounds in this world are like, essentially kind of like the king's private assassins type thing. So when Tempest is sent on a mission to kill the Jester and bring the king his heart, because the Jester is this like evil shapeshifter who is like poisoning and causing illness around the country. Tempest must go on this mission and maybe realizes that the Jester isn't this mastermind behind all this. And this was one that I read. I think the only reason I read it in one sitting was because A, I was so excited for it, and B, we didn't have internet or cable, so for like a week in August. So I couldn't do anything but reading, so I was just, okay, we're just gonna read, and I realized, and then I like finished the book in one sitting. Literally, I think I immediately got the copy of it and just read through until the finish. So those were all of the books that I read in one sitting. I hope you enjoyed this video, and bye!